Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Guess What Inspired My Eyeshadow. This month we are doing space themed, and this is probably the most complicated eyeshadow look I have ever attempted, and I think it came out pretty good. Hopefully, you'll be able to guess. As soon as you think you figured it out, put it in the comments. Honestly, from the facts, you're probably going to figure it out pretty fast. So, the thing I am talking about and that inspired me today was created, so to speak, on July 29th, 1958, when President Eisenhower signed the National Aeronautics and Space Act. And that created it separated the military ventures to space from the civil ones. And it kind of made this agency. Well, a short 3 months later, the first satellite was not launched by this agency into space. It was meant to go into lunar orbit carrying a TV camera. It didn't. It sent 43 minutes of data back before it crash landed back. But that's okay. By April 9th, 1959, there were the first astronauts, the Mercury 7 team, and they didn't all make it to space. In fact, the first American didn't make it to space until May 5th, 1961, and that was Alan Shepard, and I bet that was pretty damn terrifying. And May 25th, 1961, President Kennedy announced that by the end of the decade, we will put a man on the moon. And we did, barely, but we did. On July 20th, 1969, this agency managed to get the first humans to walk on the moon. That footstep is still there. That was Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Very, very few people have actually achieved this, and it's been over 50 years since this agency went back to the moon. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hoping that it would. The next big event I want to talk about happened in like the 1980s, 1986, this agency decided that it was time to put a civilian in space. And specifically, they wanted to send a science teacher to space. And they chose Krista McAuliffe. And that was the Challenger. And I remember this. It's one of my very first vivid memories. I was only 4 years old, but it was that big event. I remember watching it. And I remember seeing it explode in space. And I remember turning to my mom and dad and being like, what happened? And they didn't quite know what to tell me. But what happened was the Challenger exploded on takeoff and causing the death of everyone on board. There's only been 2 major space accidents. That was the first one. I am, of course, talking about the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. Did you get it? Tell me in the comments. Bye.